Welcome, everybody, once again to Haunt Chat Live. Tonight in the spotlight, we have Chance Hancock with DeadX Radio. Excuse me, frog in the throat. Anyway, I am your hostess tonight, Lori, Mistress Lori, and give it up for Reverend Michael, the Gravedigger.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome everybody to season 2, episode 3. And you know what? I think I posted this out there. Season 3, episode 3, season 2, episode 3 of Haunt Chat Live. That's
You
right.
did.
I did. Yeah. Oh well. Get an extra year out of it. That'll work out good. And tonight's guest in the spotlight is DeadX Radio with I believe the founder and producer director. He's the name to know, Mr. Chance Hancock. Chance, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good. How you doing tonight?
I am wonderful. I'm always wonderful, but good to see you are too. Well, welcome. Now you're coming to us from Florida, right?
Yes. Right now, I'm currently in West Chase in the Tampa, Florida area.
West Chase, Tampa, Florida area of Florida. And for all you hunters out there, you know that that convention was just down there, the Southeast Hunters, whatever convention and everything. So this has nothing to do with it. So forget I just said anything. Okay, anyway, so let's get to our story tonight. First, I got to bring up, yes, we do. Again, we have another giveaway going on. And that giveaway, our sponsors for the evening is Grave Gear Studios. And they have been lovely, and they have given us I got to hide that. There you go. Yeah, that's right. The Soundscape Hollow. It's one of their new soundscapes. And we are going to have 3 winners. So make sure you listen to the end of the show. Well, like usual, we'll ask the question. You will email your answer to hauntchatlive@gmail.com. And the first 3 people in will get a copy of Hollow from Grave Gear Studios. That's right. Okay, back to the show. We're back. Okay, so Chance, I had a little bit of chance. You're a big guy, I have a feeling. Anyway, had a chance to talk to you. Had a chance to talk to you a little bit before the show. Now, as we know, I actually set this whole interview up with Patrick Webb, who's another one of your guys on the show. Unfortunately, He couldn't be here tonight, but that's okay because you're here tonight and you're the real guy involved with the show anyway, right? You're the boss?
No. Actually, I got to clarify on that. There's actually 4 of us on the show, and the 4 of us actually share the ownership of it. There's Jeff Hillier, Pat Webb, or Patrick X, John Rusnick, and then myself. I do a lot of the bookings for the show. I am one of the co-creators, so co-founder of it.
There we go. I got part of it right.
Yes. So, but yeah, it's been a wild ride. It really has.
Now that wild ride so far has lasted 3 years. About, is that right?
Yep, 3 years as of July 4th.
Ooh, awesome! So you just had a birthday.
Yep.
A 3rd birthday. That's cool. Okay. And you started out, well, I'm going to let you tell us, tell the story, make it a good one. So come up. I don't care if you lie. Go ahead. But give us a good story. Story. Tell us about the start of DeadX Radio.
That's the thing about us is we're very much an open book. We talk about our lives and we talk about the show and everything else. And this is how DeadX actually got started. Jeff Hillier, one of my best friends, one of our boys on the show, producer of the show. Jeff actually got his heart broken by a girl.
Uh-oh.
And I kid you not, he called me up out of the blue and he said, "Hey man, you used to do like paranormal radio, you had a paranormal TV show." He's like, "I want to do a paranormal TV show." And he's like, "I got an idea, I want to run it by you." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So me, him, and Patrick Webb, we met in a parking lot at an apartment complex where I used to live at, 3 years ago. And we sat there for about 6 hours coming up with this whole grand scheme for a television show originally. And I finally looked at Jeff and Pat, and I'm like, "Look," I said, if we try walking into a TV production studio right now and nobody knows who we are, nobody's going to listen. I'm like, what we need to do is, since I come from radio, and everybody else has some type of media background, I'm like, let's start with a radio show first. It's something simple and easy that we can do. And we'll go from there, build the numbers, get the audience, and then we'll move on to do the bigger, better things as we go. And so we literally, for 6 hours, hanging out in a parking lot because Jeff got his heart broken over some girl, devised and built DeadX Radio in a parking lot. And we came up with the premise. We wanted to talk to celebrities. We wanted to do it in paranormal, horror, and sci-fi because all three just kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
And from there, it took off. It became a beast. It took on a life of its own.
So I got to ask, do you have a prop on the set or anything that you named after the ex-girlfriend?
No.
Homage to the ex-girlfriend.
Maybe it might be the Yoda that I told you about before the show. Maybe.
Yeah. You guys are gonna have to tune back and watch one of the old shows or something too.
Yeah, any of our fans in the show watching right now, they'll know exactly what we're talking about. So, yeah, and the other thing is too. I mean, to be clear on this, when we first created DeadX Radio, we decided that we didn't want to be like, and I don't mean this in any negative way. We just wanted to be different. We don't want to be the same old as a lot of paranormal shows that talk about just ghost hunting and that's it. And we didn't want to do it from a boring standpoint, to be honest. We were like, you know what, let's be ourselves. And all of us are very raw, very raunchy. So we decided we are going to have to be uncensored. And then next thing you know, it's like within 3 months, we made iTunes Top 100.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, within 3 months. Then we wound up 6 months later, we wound up in a major magazine up in Vegas and wound up in a magazine article, and they dubbed us the Bad Boys of Paranormal. That's why we started using that name for our show.
Gotcha.
The Bad Boys of Paranormal. And they said we were Howard Stern meets Art Bell. That's how they described it.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have strippers in studio. We had stripper Ouija going on. We do crazy stuff.
Okay, I see the coalition now. I see. Yeah.
There you go.
I got you. Okay, that's awesome. Now you just kind of threw out the real quick, and it's not something we talked about. You just mentioned that you did a paranormal TV show.
Yeah. God, that was at least 6-7 years ago. I had a TV show that I created called Paraprobe. And we went out and did investigations, pretty much like ghost hunters. The only difference was we were kind of raw and edgy a little bit, kind of like how DeadX Radio is with the show.
Right.
And we were on a small mom and pop network out of Chicago, like a local channel. And we were sending, we were all from Florida, but we were sending our episodes up there, and they started airing it. And the next thing I know, I had people contacting me from all over the United States who were watching our show everywhere. And so anyways, we did like one season, but we had so much going on with other stuff. We wound up just kind of cutting it out because we were paying ourselves to do it. We didn't have like a network picking us up and paying for it. So
show called Paraprobe. That almost sounds like it involved aliens, and the whole probing thing. And
yeah, we had our moments.
That's great.
Yeah, and there was moments that some people got wrecked in the rectum. So yeah.
Oh man. Hate it when that happens. not really, but Anyway, let's move on from there. Okay, so about 3 years ago, dead ex-girlfriend, dead ex, you get it. Anyway, got the whole thing going with the four of you. So how did you did start it as a podcast? Oh, yep. And something you mentioned that you hit the top 100 or top 10 on iTunes. Want to remind everybody we are on iTunes now also as part of the Haunted Attraction Network. All of our episodes are being put out to all of their podcast episodes. So if you want to go back and just listen to what's going on, we're out there too under the Haunted Attraction Network. You can find our episodes being put up there. I think they're putting up one a week or something until they catch up. So, hey, there's another spot you're going to be on iTunes again. Maybe we can hashtag Hunt Chat Tunes. I don't know. Show tunes. Hey, I do show tunes. You watch my promos. How did you guys like that promo this month?
That was actually pretty good. I was impressed.
I like that. That was one of my better ones. I liked that one. I had a good time. Welcome to Hunt Chat Live. All right. So you guys got together and you started talking. And so how did the podcast itself come to fruition? How did you, did you find a studio to do it in, or did you just do it in your living room, or what went on?
I kid you not. In the beginning, it was actually from Jeff Hillier's apartment when we were first doing it. We were doing it from the apartment. You know, we just did it as is, didn't care. And it was so funny because we started getting celebrities actually on board to do interviews with us. And here they are going back and watching the show, and they're like, man, I thought you guys were like this big professional show, and I see you guys are sitting in this apartment complex or whatever. And we're like, yeah, you know, we just, hey, we got to do what we got to do, you know. But next thing you know, when John Rusnick came on board, you know, he's got his studio down in Sarasota, Florida, and he opened his studio up to us and became our 4th member. And so from now, we actually have a full production TV and movie studio down in Sarasota where we do our show from.
Wow, the dream.
Yep.
It's awesome how that's come together in such a quick time too. I mean, 3 years, that's a pretty fast time. Did you like know some other big names or anything like that?
See,
Hadn't really got you into it?
I was just gonna say that was the thing that really kicked it off that got so much attention was the fact that like prime example, like you take someone, say Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has this massive podcast, massive following, but he was already a celebrity in his own right before doing the podcast. So he brought a self-built audience.
Right.
We literally started from the ground up with nothing, you know, and built it up to where it's at now. You know, and now, of course, our show has been recently in the last couple of months, we've been picked up by the Haunted Space Network, owned by Nick Roth and Elizabeth Saint.
Right.
So we're actually signed on with their network now.
That's cool. I've seen several other people recently. They're really building their network,
yep.
And putting things out and using that Haunt Space.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out, everybody. It's haunt.space. I didn't even realize space was a domain name, but yeah, it's haunt.space. It's really cool. They got several different shows, but you screw those other shows. This one, the Dead X Radio one, that's the one you want to pay attention to. Although I hear, and we'll talk about it more, I hear it may not be called Dead X Radio forever, but we won't talk about that yet. We won't
talk about it yet. Yep.
We won't talk about it yet, but hey, just a little teaser. Nanner. All right, so a little bit more. So you guys went into was it Jeff's apartment? And all of a sudden you've got people in limousines pulling up to do interviews, and they're knocking on the door of this crack house going, what the hell did we get ourselves into?
Oh, trust me, it felt like a crack house neighborhood too. It really did back in the day. But it was so funny. Like our first like named guest per se was we had Michael Pare from the movie Eddie and the Cruisers.
Right.
Okay, yeah, the Philadelphia Experiment, all that. And Jeff and I happen to be big fans of him, like from years ago, you know, from all of like the Greatest American Hero TV show, all that stuff. And I had talked to him on Twitter, and I'm like, look, we have this show, does paranormal horror and sci-fi. I saw you got a new horror movie coming out. You know, would you be interested in doing an interview? And he was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And we're like, holy shit, you know, so
really,
you know, so
really?
So our first name celebrity, you know, so we got him on. And then like as we progressively got bigger and we got into the studio and like, you know, I mean, matter of fact, here in the Tampa Bay area every year, Creative Loafing is a major magazine for the St. Pete, Clearwater, Tampa Bay area. They have the best of the Bay competition every year. And they have like the best restaurants, the best bars, you know, so on and so forth, best radio, everything else. And our show has been nominated all 3 years in a row for best podcast in Tampa Bay. Me and the guys in the show have all been nominated for best radio personalities all 3 years in a row so far too.
You've been nominated. Well, it's an honor to be nominated, right?
Yeah. I haven't won, but yeah.
When are you gonna win? When are you gonna win? Come on, slacker. What have you been doing?
Sooner or later we might win. There's some big boys to go up against, man. You got like Mike Calta and Drew Garabo and all those guys. And I love those guys to death. They're 1025 The Bone over here on Tampa Bay FM station.
Okay, I'll have to believe you on that. I don't get that up here in Sydney, Iowa. But you know, it's probably streaming though, right? Right, those things are. Probably...
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. So,
yeah, they are.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're the guest.
Well, I was just gonna say, like with those guys, 1025 The Bone is like the #1 FM market in the state of Florida. So that's why these guys are huge. They're syndicated, everything else. So it's kind of hard for us to beat them yet because we're a podcast show. But now that Haunted Space has gone, you know, Amazon Prime and all that, you know, we're gonna be on Amazon and everything else. So we might be able to catch up and beat them by the, you know, by this coming year. So who knows?
That would be awesome. And then I can look back and go, hey, guess what, guys? I had them on my show. pick me up too.
If for us, I got to say that's one of the coolest things I love is like with us, it's our success has allowed us to meet a lot of famous people and become friends with them and everything else. And getting treated as equals by them and stuff is really a really awesome feeling. We've had like the stars of Z Nation on our show from Sci-Fi, like Cleta Smith and, and all those guys. We've had, different, pretty much you name a paranormal celebrity, we've had them on our show.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like all across the board, and the funny thing is like I said, for us was, I think the biggest moment for me and Jeff of knowing that we were going somewhere was getting a drunk text from a celebrity at 3 a.m.
That's awesome.
That's when you know you're making your mark. When you get a drunk text from a celebrity, you know you're going somewhere.
That is awesome. I can't wait for that to happen. That'd be great. And we started now our first season. We did mainly haunted attraction industry people. Being a member of the Haunted Attraction Network, I grabbed a bunch of the people, so podcasts and what have you, from haunted attractions going on. So this year we have started to expand a little bit. We've had Kristen West. I don't know if you know who that is. She is she's a scream queen and a hostess, and we had her on a couple shows ago. We're moving this year a little bit more into the horror side of it. Although we'll continue to do the haunted attraction stuff, but we're moving into the horror side. We're going to move a little bit into the paranormal side also. Some of those shows. Now, as you know, the niche for this show, Haunt Chat Live. See, it's right up there in print. So it's real. It's on the internet too, so you got to believe it. So the niche for us is we only interview shows. Because the whole idea of this is to promote you guys to, if there's anybody who happens to watch me who hasn't heard of you, to get them out there and to help promote everybody else going on it. There are several in the haunted attraction. There are several more in the horror industry, obviously. And even more, everybody wants to do a paranormal show. Yeah, everybody wants to do it.
It's tragic. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some very talented people out there who do it and come up with really nifty new ideas for it. And I love it. I think it's great. But flip side of the coin, I've had people, contact me and go, hey, you should have me as a guest on your show. I'm like, well, why? Well, we have a paranormal show and we're like you guys. You should check us out. I'm like, okay, I'll go and check our show out. Not even 5 minutes into it. And I'm like, you are not even in the same ballpark. And not even close. And honestly, I swear to God, I'm not trying to have an ego about it. I'm really not. But there's certain people that just they should have just went on to do something else. Radio was not a career for them.
I like to imagine the people that when I contact them to be guests on the show, and I go ahead, check out the show, see, get back to me, see if you want. And it usually actually kind of surprises me a little bit when they call me back or message me back going, sure, love to be on the show. I'm like, did you watch the show? Really?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. We have interviewed, not only, we try to stick to horror, paranormal, and sci-fi, but we've interviewed like Dee Snider, Twisted Sister. We've interviewed Anthony Michael Hall, all different kinds of people. And there are moments where we've had celebrities turn around and do the interview with us. And they're like, man, that was a great time. It was awesome, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, but I went back and watched one of your shows. And I really wished I wouldn't have put it out to my family to check this show out that I was going to be on with you guys, because they started going back and watching the old one. They told us specifically, hey, when I come on, would you mind keeping it clean? And of course, we're professional. We're like, sure, no problem. We'll keep it clean because you're going to be on air. Not a problem. We can do that for you. And but they told their family to check it out, and then the family starts watching past episodes, and they were getting phone calls left and right, like, why were you with these heathens? And I was like, hey, at least your show is clean. Just tell them from now on, just watch the one that I am on. Don't tell them to watch the others.
Yeah, don't watch nothing else. Just watch this one. And you got my intro email and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't post this as a family show. I want people to be who they are, or at least who they are on the show, because we're promoting the show. So if you're real and you're raw on the show, it doesn't bother me a bit. I am Reverend Michael, you know, the grave digger, but I wasn't always a reverend, you know, so none of it bothers me. And if any of you out there, if any of it bothers you, deal with it. It's who they are. It's real life. So I ain't too worried about it. But we have a good time.
There's other stuff to watch if you're not happy with it.
Damn straight. That's right.
Yeah, you're never going to make everybody happy. Like, people ask us all the time. They're like, well, how you deal with haters? We're like, we don't. It's like, it's not,
there you go.
It's not worth the headache, you know? And even them, it's like, we only have like maybe 5, you know, like pretty much everybody else likes us. We had a guy who actually talked bad about us on Twitter one time in the middle of one of our programs, and everybody on Twitter, our fans, turned on him so bad the guy deleted his account.
Oh, damn.
I am not kidding. He actually deleted his account. Yeah.
I haven't had something like that. I was being interviewed by another show we're actually interviewing them in a couple months. And they're more of a clown talk show. I don't know if you know about the whole clown scene in the haunt industry. Okay. Well, they're kind of more of a clown talk show. And somebody had tuned in while they were talking to me. And it wasn't a live like this. They were live, but I was on the phone, and there was me and Mike Ross, the producer of this show, you know, the one who booked everything. So
my other husband.
Yeah, her other husband. We had both of us on, and somebody had commented on her thing. Man, I had a whole bunch of clowns recommend watching the show, and I don't get it. I'm out of here. I'm like, oh, dudes, I'm sorry. They're like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just catch another show.
But you know what, though? I mean, like, this is the way I look at it. If people have to go out of their way to tell you repetitively, I don't like your show. I watched this show and it sucked. I watched this show and it sucked. I watched this show and this guy was stupid. You're not a hater, bitch. You're a fan.
That's right. That's right.
If you're watching me every week, you're a fan. Sorry about your luck, you know. And you know what? Your numbers are helping me. So hey, cool.
Bring on the haters, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, realistically, and anybody who knows us for more than 5 seconds will tell you that when we tell you we genuinely don't care what people think about us, we genuinely don't care what people think about us. And it's like, and that's one of the reasons why I think that everything has become so successful and grown the way it has.
Well, no, I did go back. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, one of the nice thing about haters is the more they whine, the more of their friends are going to check it out to see what they're whining about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It brings your numbers up even higher.
Any publicity is good publicity.
I know. It's like, you know, it's like, I hate you. It's like, oh, so cute.
We actually,
sweet.
Back when I was a youngin', I was in this punk rock band, and there was a anti-group formed called Icky Poo, and it was called Parents Against Poo, because all the music was really hard, and although the music was actually comedy and all the lyrics were comedy, but it sounded like bad stuff, you know. So there's all these parents picketing and things like that anytime we had a show. Well, we set the whole thing up so that at the end we could have the Pap smear. And it was, but again, it was still publicity. Hate us or love us, you're still watching us. So, yay.
Yeah.
Although I want all you guys to like me, though. You know, you still gotta like me, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, hey, it's your fans that makes and breaks you, and that's the one thing I've also always tell people too. Never, ever, ever let your ego get in the way of your fans. Your ego, right. Yeah, you need to check that at the door with your fans, because without them, then you're just another guy on the street.
Yeah.
We've got Crypticon KC coming up here on the 21st or on the 14th, excuse me, next weekend that we go to, and it's one of the Crypticon conventions, you know. And this one's actually it's Crypticon KC, but it's actually in St. Joe. But I go every year, and I do a like broadcast, walk around and interview people. And one of the things I'm always told, because I'm not an official Crypticon KC thing, is don't bother the stars. They're there to make money. They're there to meet their fans. So we honor that. But what I tend to do is, as I'm walking by one of those booths, I'm like, yeah, there's a star over there, but we're not supposed to bother them. And about every third one will be like, come on over. Come here. Those are the ones I like.
You know, matter of fact, Elvira, she was like that with us. You know, she waved us over to talk to her, you know. And matter of fact, I think one of the craziest things that happened to us was we were at a convention and we were walking down the back passageway, you know, and we were taking a break from our show. And because we emceed a lot of Comic-Cons and stuff too with our show. And so we were taking a break. We were walking down the hall and we met the kids from Stranger Things. And we saw them and we were like, you know, oh man, how you guys doing? You know, it's awesome. We love your guys' show, which we do. We're all big fans of Stranger Things. And the oldest kid, and I'm brain farting on his name, sorry, but the oldest kid, as soon as I went to introduce myself, he goes, no, you're Chance. I know you are. And that's Jeff, and that's Pat, and that's John. And he's like, he was a fan of our show. He watches us every week.
Kick ass.
And I sit there and I'm like, does your mom and dad know you watch our show? And then he started laughing and he was like, yeah, they know. And I'm like, all right, well, as long as they know and they're cool with it, you know, whatever, you know.
That is totally awesome. I can't wait. Next week, two of the guests at this thing are Linda Blair and Adrienne Barbeau.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I mean, heartthrobs from way back. So I'm looking for it. Anyway, back to you. Sorry about that. Dead X Radio. Okay, so we've talked about the guys. We talked about how you got started. Now you're on Hot Space, and I believe there are 5 episodes plus a paid episode out there, plus your what's in that live paid episode? I gotta know what kind of stuff. Why should I pay to watch that paid episode?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to make the announcement right here. We are making a surprise to our fans that we're going to make our show free.
Woo!
Yep. We're going to be the only show that's going to be on the network that is absolutely free.
Oh, and that's awesome.
We owe it to our fans.
Heard it first here.
And that's the truth. It's the first place anybody's heard about it. Our show we have done, you know, for 3 years now, and we've always been free. We've always had our own, just deadxradio.com. You go there to watch our show and all that. And now, of course, you know, we're changing all that. Like we said earlier in the program, I'll bring it up now. We are changing the name of the show, because we're now more of a television talk show more than podcasts now. So we're just changing everything. We're changing the look, the logo, the whole 9 yards. And
not the people though, right? You're still
no. Same people, people, just and pretty much kind of the same format, just more of a talk show feel and look to the show.
Gotcha.
But the thing is that we discussed it, with the Haunted Space, with Elizabeth Saint and everybody, and we decided, as a whole, that we're like, look, we want to keep our show free. We want to bring numbers is what we want. We want numbers, and we know we can bring the numbers as long as we keep it free. We don't want all of our fans to back out because you got to pay to see us now. So we have a deal worked out. As much as I can get into it about that, I can't go any further about our contracts and stuff. But we are going to offer our show for free. So.
Oh, that is so cool. Make sure now you guys who are watching, the link below has got links to their Hot Space page and to their Facebook and all that. I can't believe time has gone so quick. We are already down to like 2 minutes left. So real quick, I got to ask Mistress Lori, have you come up with a question for tonight?
Kind of. Okay. Both of the thoughts I had were too simple, so I'm going to make it a 2-part.
Okay.
You got to answer 2 questions.
Oh, damn.
2 questions.
All right.
Okay, first of all, of the 4 guys whose heart got broke, that's the first part of the question. The second part is, what was the name of the paranormal show that he did?
All right.
That's a good one.
Okay, so whose heart got broken that everybody got together and started
the whole thing?
And what is the name of the paranormal show that, not that guy, but maybe it was that guy that Chance used to be on? So you got a 2-part question. We got 3 winners. HauntChatLive@gmail.com. Send in your answers. The first 3 with both answers correct win a copy of Hollow from Grave Gear Studios. We'll put that picture up again real quick, just so that you know. Now this is a soundscape. This is background music, background sounds, ambience. That's why it's called a soundscape. So win your free copy of that. And back to me. What? Oh yeah.
You got a notification pop up on that.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey everyone. All right. So, Chance, what we got? We talked about most everything. What do you got left? What's something that you want going out?
Actually, next weekend, for those who are in the Florida area, especially around Ocala. I'm going to be at the Southeast Halloween Enthusiast Convention. It's taking
There's
place
the one. That's the show I was talking about.
Yep, 14th and 15th and next weekend. I'm actually because we were paranormal investigators too, investigate hauntings. I've been doing it for like 2 decades. I'm going to be one of the speakers on Sunday at 10:30 in the morning on demonology. Going to be talking about demonology.
That's awesome. For any of you guys who, well, no, we won't. I won't. I'll quit dropping names. But so yeah, so that's awesome. You got your links down below. Now Chance will be on for a couple minutes. When we move on to the actual chat that we do every Saturday night, I'll be posting that. If you're a member of Haunt Chat out on Facebook, you'll get to see the link for that. I will also post it under the Haunt Chat live thing. So anybody that wants to come in and chat for a couple minutes or join into the whole regular Saturday night chat, you're welcome to do so. We have gone past our time. I don't want to piss off Dan Noble by going longer than him. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Next month is horrorbuzz.com. Horrorbuzz will be our guest next month. So tune in for that. Thank you again. This is season 2, not 3, season 2, episode 3, Dead X Radio. I'll tell you what, it's been a blast.